What's going on, guys? Welcome to your second stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and news report for Wednesday, February 3rd. Now, we have some more good news coming out this morning, so I want to address that. But first, I have been getting a lot of questions from you guys asking for my personal opinion as to when we will see, or if we will see, this stimulus package actually get passed. So let's touch on that first, and then we'll get into some more of the updates and kind of obviously mix them in. First, experts say that the next stimulus package, which again is going to be done through reconciliation. Experts are currently saying there's a 95% chance it is done through reconciliation. There's about a 5% chance this gets done through some type of bipartisan agreement. However, I am personally on the fence about this because I believe that yes, President Biden does want to do a bipartisan agreement. However, all indications point to Republicans are not going to go anywhere near a $1.9 trillion stimulus package. So because of that, reconciliation is our only option there if we want to see any stimulus in anytime soon. Most people do not want to go through another 7 to 8 months of negotiations to see a stimulus package get passed sometime in maybe August or September. I can tell you right now, I personally do not want to do this. I can tell you that that Congress does not want to go through another 9-month negotiation period. And I can tell you right now that if the American people do not receive stimulus soon, a lot of people are going to struggle. A lot of people will become homeless, will lose a lot of their assets, their cars. They're going to lose their homes. There's going to be a lot of things just on the line. So we need stimulus and we need it now. With that said, the Senate passed a budget resolution yesterday. The House is expected to pass this today. Here's what you need to know about this. This budget resolution is just a bill, or is just a vote on voting. So pretty much, and this is the process, and this is why it's so messy, is because Congress has to vote on the budget resolution, which allows them to then have it's like a 10-hour debate-a-thon, which they can have later on this week, and then they can break into their committees and start putting together this bill. But this is going to take a while. This is going to take a long time. Some are currently saying that this could potentially take a few weeks. But many experts are currently saying that right now they see this stimulus package they expect to see this sometime in February. Now, this is the package. This is not a vote. This is just a package. And then after they get this package, then they have to go through more debates. So we're not even close. We are a little ways away. Some are saying that they expect this to pass around the middle to end of March. I personally agree with that. I think the middle of March is going to be their deadline because that is when the unemployment benefits expire, is March 14th. So I think that's the time they're trying to hit. However, we know this from previous experience with Congress, is that just because that's a deadline doesn't mean they're not willing to go past it. They'll push it back. Nancy Pelosi did this multiple times. Mitch McConnell, he's always pushing back deadlines. It does not matter. A deadline to Congress is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's meaningless. So, what I can tell you is my expectation is we will see this pass probably the middle to end of March. My guess is we will see a stimulus check towards the end to the end of March to the beginning of April. So if that's the case, I know a lot of people are going to be struggling because they were expecting, because we were promised, President Biden told us we will see immediate stimulus checks immediately. Once Democrats are in office, we will get checks immediately. To me, immediately is like, within the next few days, maybe a week, 2 weeks tops. Not 2 months. So, we will see what happens there. But at the same time that this is all happening, Democrats are currently saying they cannot wait any longer. They cannot wait. They must get started on this bill right away. Even Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said, "We are not going to dilute, dither, or delay. We welcome cooperation, There is nothing about the process of budget resolution or reconciliation, for that matter, that forecloses the possibility of bipartisanship. But I can tell you that President Biden, according to all reports and all sources, was not happy with the proposal that the Senate Republicans brought him on Monday. He was not expecting something at $618 billion. He was not expecting to see millions of Americans, roughly 29 to 30 million Americans, just be cut out from a stimulus check. He was not expecting to see such low numbers for unemployment. When I say low numbers, Republicans wanted to do $300 per week from March 14th through June 30th. President Biden was not expecting that. But President Biden told Senate Democrats during a phone call that their proposal from the GOP was too small and that Democrats should move forward quickly with a big and bold package. That is according to Chuck Schumer. Right now, what we know is that President Biden wants to move forward with his $1.9 trillion stimulus package. He did the work. He did all the legwork. He got many Democrats on board with this $1.9 trillion package. Joe Manchin is the one that could potentially hold out, but he's still working with him. Right now, we know Democrats are also trying to squeeze in their own proposals into this bill as well. And this is going to create more issues. Right now, we saw the number 2 Democrat in the Senate, Dick Durbin, him and a representative, a Democratic representative as well, they proposed a bill yesterday to forgive unemployment income tax payments up to $10,200 in income. So, just for simple math, this could mean that, let's say you get 10%, or you're going to pay 10% income tax. That means if you got $10,200 in income from the unemployment, from your unemployment benefits, you could potentially see a stimulus check come back to you because of this, because you do not have to pay this if this bill were to pass. Again, this is just a proposal. This is on day one. This is on day one, and we're seeing a proposal. We're potentially going to see more today. I believe Senator Elizabeth Warren is also going to propose something for a wealth tax. This isn't going to apply to probably anybody that's watching this video unless you are a billionaire. Hopefully you are. If you are, welcome in. But for most people, this is not going to apply. This would be for the wealthy people, billionaires. So I just want you to know this, that we are going to start to see more reports of proposals coming out. Some are going to be good, some are going to be bad, some are just going to be wasting time, but others have the potential to be included into this $1.9 trillion stimulus package. Again, right now, what we're hearing is President Biden is open to all negotiations. He's open to any package, any item, any legislation that could potentially make this bill better, but also stronger. He does not want to see this $1.9 trillion stimulus package get whittled down to nothing. He will not, and this is according to multiple reports, he will not accept a low offer, a low package, because he says we do not need it. That is something that is actually going to hurt the economy more than it's going to help. So, I just want you to understand kind of what is going on here. But I want to address something that many people are worried about, and that is the jobs report that is coming out on Friday. And when I say many people, I'm talking about a lot of people within the media, because this could potentially be a big issue. If you are kind of wondering what this is, the jobs report comes out every month. This tells us what the unemployment rate was for the last month or the previous month, or for kind of a snippet of that month. Now, when we see this, the stock market goes crazy. When unemployment numbers drop, stock market's usually green. When the unemployment numbers go a little bit higher, the stock market usually goes somewhat red. So, we really don't. Now, yeah, we do care about what's going on with the stock market, but right now the stock market is not the economy. They're completely different. They are completely different, which is very weird. But right now, if the unemployment numbers rise sharply, then the speed of this stimulus package must be sped up as well. And I say this because if we see the numbers increase and yet Congress is delaying stimulus, that's just going to hurt and impact more and more Americans. If the numbers drop, then Democrats are actually going to lose some of their leverage, because right now they are telling Republicans and even people within their own caucus that we have to provide more stimulus. We need to provide larger stimulus checks, more unemployment benefits for this long, because we're going to be in this pandemic for another 7-8 months. It could happen. I hope it doesn't, but it could. What we are hearing is that right now, if we see these unemployment numbers drop, Democrats will lose leverage simply because they will not be able to pretty much force $1.9 trillion onto all the Republicans and every Democrat. Some are going to say that it is not as badly needed, and this is according to many economists, that $1.9 trillion is not needed as badly if we see the unemployment numbers drop. I don't think they're going to drop. I think they might increase. Okay, that's just my expectation. However, I could be wrong. But what I can tell you is that Democrats are pushing forward with their proposal, with their pillars of this proposal. They have 3 pillars. The first one is the unemployment benefit extension. They want to extend unemployment benefits for $400 per week from March 14th through September 30th. That is what some Republicans and some Democrats are also saying. Some moderates are saying, well, do we really need it to September 30th? If unemployment rates drop, maybe sometime in June is acceptable. So shortening it up to the GOP proposal is fine. But as far as going from 400 to 300, President Biden's like, no, we're not doing that. So that is one proposal, or that's one pillar of the proposal. The next pillar is the $1,400 stimulus checks. We know this. We've heard this multiple times. President Biden is open to negotiating the as far as the amount of who gets it, but not the amount of the exact check. It's going to be $1,400. He promised $2,000. We know $1,400 plus $600 equals $2,000. We get that. But he is open to negotiating who qualifies, who's eligible. Right now, Republicans want to do at $40,000 for an individual and $80,000 for a couple filing jointly. That would be where the threshold hits. The phase out is $50,000 for individuals and $100,000 for couples. Anything over that, you get absolutely nothing, no matter how many kids you have. Now, Democrats, on the other hand, they want $75,000 for an individual and $150,000 for a couple filing jointly. However, according to reports this morning and according to the Washington Post, Democrats are open to a $50,000 and $100,000, but that would be $50,000 for an individual, and then we see the phase out to really no limit, and then for $100,000 for a couple filing jointly, and then that's when the phase out would begin, and again, absolutely no limit. So it would be $5. You lose $5 for every $100 you make over $100,000 as a couple filing jointly, which means if you have multiple children, you could still make a decent amount of money and still get a stimulus check. And the third pillar to the proposal is vaccine funding. We know this. This is seen as one of the keys to opening up the economy is we need vaccine funding. As to how much and as to when we get it, that is currently what is being discussed. Some experts say that if we can't get these 3 things, then the economy will not be much better off in 1 year than it is today. And we will hopefully get back on track and get our normal life back sooner rather than later. But these 3 things have to happen. If these 3 things do not happen, unemployment benefits, a $1,400 stimulus check, and vaccine funding, if these 3 things do not happen, then we could be in a world of hurt. So, as we already know, Democrats are going to move forward with or without Republicans. We know this. Republicans are very upset by this, but I don't think they really thought that Democrats were going to work with them and come down off their $1.9 trillion stimulus package when they have all the power. Why would Democrats drop down about $1.3 trillion to side with Republicans when Republicans didn't even give them anything for state and local government funding, and that was seen as one of the big issues? Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi both demanded state and local government funding. At this point, it seems like the Biden administration is understanding that getting a bipartisan stimulus package passed is very unlikely, which is why he has instructed Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi to move forward with urgency. Keyword, urgency. So as always, we will see how quickly they actually move forward with this package. Now, there's a lot of talks regarding stimulus. I haven't done a lot regarding COVID lately, so I want to give you a quick little COVID news update. The United States reported yesterday 114,173 new COVID cases. This was for yesterday alone. That gives us a 7-day average of 141,137 cases. Now, even though the 7-day average is higher than our yesterday total, what you need to understand is that this puts the U.S. economy, or the U.S., in a sharp downward trajectory. This is good. This is very good. Some experts are saying that if the numbers continue to drop, and they drop drastically, then we could see we get back to a more normal life in potentially just 1 month. In 1 month. But we have to see the numbers drop. And we need to see the weather start to get better. The weather is currently one of the biggest issues because everybody, well, not everybody, when you live in California or Florida, I guess, you got better weather. But I live in Washington State. In Washington State, it is cold. It is like 38 degrees right now. So it's fairly cold this morning. But just want you to understand that right now we could be on the path to a better life in just 1 month. But the weather, vaccines, and then we need stimulus. If we can see all those things, the weather gets better, we know it's going to. We see stimulus checks and we see stimulus package, which we know they're working on. But if we see that in 1 month, okay, if we see that in March, then we should be in a better spot than we are right now. So that's what we know right now regarding stimulus and COVID. As always, consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.